Hey, what's up, fam? John Cox here with you. It is 4:15 on March 28th, 2022. So today is exactly, I think, the 8-week mark for me. I'm going out here to Frankfurt. So today is won't be the last update that I give you, but it's we're getting down to the last couple. So I'm on my way back to Frankfurt right now. I had a couple meetings with the Senate Health and Welfare Committee today. Sarah Tyler and I did. One of them was, one guy's a definite no. Again, we're at this point, really, guys. When it comes to like the conservative, the Republican Party, we really are seeing a paradigm shift where the party's having to figure out who it is, because it's like, is it this big business, like condescending, people are too stupid to make their own decisions party, or is it the party that's going to trust individuals and be the party of the working man and be the working man and woman, and the party of parental choice and parental rights and all that. The people that are no votes for the most part are they see it as they just feel like they need to be able to make decisions in times of crisis to make everyone be able to do stuff, because they don't think that we are capable of making them on our own. So one we met with today was Danny Carroll. He said he's a definite no. He wasn't condescending and mean like Matthew Cook was, but he definitely was so he was respectful and all that. But again, like, I just don't know how certain people get to their conclusions. He owns a child care service business, or whatever you want to call it, and he says he can't imagine not being able to test his kids and not being able to make them wear masks and all this stuff. And he kept saying if another variant comes out, he just can't imagine not being able to require that. And my response is just, again, like, but if you didn't have to make the decision, would you feel the same way? If you just relinquished the power, the government just relinquished it, and it was just known the powers or the parents were there to make that decision, then wouldn't that change things for you? And he basically saying, like, it just scares them to death, worried about kids. And so again, we started getting back into metrics and all that, and that's just not what this is. This isn't a metrics conversation. It isn't a some people are bad, some people are good conversation. It isn't a big government, small government. It's just that everyone get out of the way and let parents make their own decisions. And again, like, I'm sure he's someone who's going to vote for charter schools, and he would vote for school choice, and he would vote, but he can't vote for something as simple as saying, regarding one sickness, parents can decide, mask and all that stuff. So we got into the SB1 because we kept talking about the local control and how they're leaving it to local boards and all that. Well, here's the deal: like, SB1 threw all that into the dumpster. All right, like, SB1 is moving everything into one person's hands, basically making the superintendents dictators. And again, I'm not saying superintendents are bad people, just this idea that they're putting powers into local elected officials' hands is just not true, because the superintendents aren't elected. We're already seeing in most places that boards are, because they don't want the liability that comes along with these decisions, moral, ethical, or legal. They are just basically voting to give the superintendent the powers. And so, like, in Jefferson County, it's already the superintendent can make the masking call, and the board can't. All right, but in the places that don't do that, SB1 that they just passed makes it to where boards can only meet every 8 weeks. So, like, it's like, if they decide to, if they get their meeting at one meeting and like they think there's about to be a surge in cases, they may be forced to mask up now, because they know they can't meet again for 8 weeks in order to change it, unless they give the superintendent all the power. So, like, again, they're just talking out both sides of their mouths, and it's just obvious there's a fracturing in Frankfurt on, like, are we the old, I'll call it the Jeb Bush Republican Party, or are we the, like, working man party at this point? What's our path forward? But here's our strategies. And I know that sounds doom and gloom. and everything, but it's not all negative. So here's where we're at. We've got receipts for people on who yes votes are and all that. I know personally that I know there's 19 out of 38 votes in the Senate. Okay, like I'm not saying that all the other 19 are no's. I'm just saying that I'm trying to be conservative here. I know for a fact there's 19 yes votes in the Senate for H.R. 51. Like, out of all those other, the Republicans, is there 11 more? Are all 11 of them willing to be the one vote like, it's on them to pass it or not? Are they willing to go back to their constituents and say that they voted no on it? I don't think that they have those kind of cojones, all 11 of them. So, it's just like 51. I knew I had 51 votes. I knew we had 51 yes votes. Like, we weren't going to be able to make sure we had 70 or 60 or, it's like, as civilians, we just aren't going to be able to do that. So, like, we know on the floor, if he gets a vote, worst case scenario, we got a guaranteed, like, tie. But there's just no way that all those other 11 Republicans are just going to, like, let it not pass and go back and be but I guess they'll be racing to be one of the first 19 to vote yes, because they won't want to be the one vote that the 20th vote or whatever that let it not pass. That's kind of where I'm at on it. But we're having to kind of resort to some guerrilla tactics. So I'm not going to say the bill numbers yet, but here's what I'm going to tell you. We're going to attach this bill to every stinking possible other bill we can. Like, in total, I'm expecting it to be attached to 12 other bills in the House and Senate. So 9 of those are in the Senate, all right, because they're going to hear a lot of bills tomorrow, and because Wednesday they'll probably be dealing with the budget on the Senate side. So if we only get it attached to 1, the Senate doesn't like to suspend rules to hear amendments, and so if we only have it attached to 1, they can hide behind this whole, like, well, we weren't going to suspend the rules because we don't like to suspend rules bill, all right? But if it's attached to 9, if we call it 9 times and they won't suspend the rules 9 times, then it's obvious that they don't want to vote on the bill. All right, so I'm putting some people on blast here. Like, Julie Rocky Adams is my senator. We know she is for. She's a yes vote on the bill. She's in leadership and has power. Like, tomorrow when these amendments get called, if she won't give any of them a second in order to get a vote on the suspension of rules, we all have to remember that. Everyone in Jefferson County that's her constituent, we have to remember it. She knows it's important. She's seen all of our faces. Like, we've been in contact with her the whole time. Okay. Some of the bills we're attaching it to aren't they're in the Senate, but they're House bills. So, like, some of the bills are important. Some of them are like, were lower hanging fruit that maybe weren't priorities, and then at least one of them is definitely a fan favorite and one that they wanted to be able to pass. And, like, I just want everyone to be clear, like, all this other stuff in our opinion just doesn't matter if we're not willing to, if we can't give parents the choice to, like, wear a mask, put a shot in their kid's arm, or, like, make them have to go through, like, ridiculous testing every single day. If we can't do that, then the rest of it doesn't even matter. So, like, just keep that in mind whenever you see the bills it's attached to. And once I know that they're in there, probably tomorrow, I'll tell everybody the numbers and what to look for and all that stuff. But we're going to attach it to important stuff, less important stuff, like stuff that we may make some people mad, but I don't care. I ain't here to make friends. I got enough friends. I'm trying to, like, take care of my kids and everybody else's kids, and I ain't worried about Will Smith walking up on stage and smacking me. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about that kind of stuff. Not worried about anybody else coming up and smacking me over it. So, and then on the House side, so these are Senate bills. On the House side, they've already been passed by the Senate. We have 3 other bills that we're going to attach it to there. And obviously, if they were to be passed by the House, they'd have to go back over for concurrence. Okay, but just remember this: like, if that happens and it goes back over to the Senate for concurrence and they don't concur, yes, all the other people will be able to hide behind the fact that they didn't have to vote on it because they just didn't act. But the people in leadership, specifically Julie Rocky Adams, like, he has the power to at least make everybody else come up for a vote and take a stand one way or the other on it. All right, like, this is the one bill in that building, other than one other one that's kind of driven, was like, the kid from Up Here Road. That's awesome that they got involved. But other than that one, it's the only civilian-led bill in the building. So pay attention to these bills that are getting called. They're all ones that have six-figure payrolls down here in the building, lobbying for them. They're all ones that were driven by people that are from the establishment and that have been around, or that are in leadership or whatever. Like, we are putting the pressure on them to put it like this. Once this thing's attached to all these amendments, one thing will be clear. If it doesn't pass, it's because they think that you are too dumb to make this decision. All of them. All right? Like, they can all come out publicly and call their news papers and tell them that they want to go on the record. They all could do that. Okay? Like, I think we've got a lot of good partners in the House and everything. On the Senate side, it's been a little tougher. And the Senate definitely is a lot more swampy than the House. And they like things to be done a certain way. And they like for the sponsor to be the one coming and garnering support. And they have a disdain that people like us are down there in the building trying to get something to pass. I mean, they have a disdain. But remember all of them. Again, Julie Rocky Adams. Remember Max Wise. Remember Robbie Alvarado. If this bill, if it doesn't pass, he will be a significant part of the reason it didn't. And I don't care what he says to me. You go look at his campaign page. That man he's got ties to everything swamp that you could think of. I mean, he's getting money from everything that is not worried about individual rights and freedoms. He's getting money from it. So I ain't saying he's a bad person. I ain't saying at the end of the day, we're judged by our actions. I don't care what you say, or I care what you do and how you gotta have follow through. So he is definitely someone that needs to be held accountable if this thing doesn't pass, because he's a doctor. He could go out there and get a few more votes. All right, so yeah. So right now, let's stay positive on this thing. So we're going to have it. So in total, we should have an amendment for this on 12 different bills across both sides. All right. Two of them, so one on each side, is already in order. They won't even have to suspend the rules. Okay. We obviously would like it to come out of the Senate, because we know the House will concur with it because they passed it. But unless they just don't call all of those bills, and again, that's why we got to get it all. We got to attach them to all of them, because we got to make sure they can't hide behind the suspension of rules requirement. It's like, if we got it on 12 of them and you won't suspend the rules 10 of those 12 times, you obviously just don't want to hear the bill. All right, so I can tell you right now, it's not normal. That's not the normal way of doing it. It's not how it's done in Frankfort. So, to me, that's exactly why it needs to be done that way. Because if I have been successful in the last 8 weeks, if we have been successful in the last 8 weeks, it's been because we told them, I don't care how stuff's done in Frankfurt. All right, I don't care that you normally go out to dinner for a fundraiser tonight. I don't care that you think you should have your weekends off. Guess what? Real people don't get the weekends off. All right, I just don't care about those things. So if we've been successful, that's been why. So don't let any of them twist it on you and make it sound like anything just wasn't possible. We've already done the impossible. We have put it out there for them, and we've made it so easy for them to pass this bill. It could not be any easier to pass it. All right, myself, my team I've been working with, all you guys out there, the people in all of our groups across the state, none of us could have done one more thing. All right, we couldn't have sent one more email. We could have made one more call. We couldn't have been in Frankfurt one more day, because we've been down there every single day. All right, so couldn't be any easier to pass. All right, so yeah, just want to give you all a little update. I think I know. Don't everybody stay the course. Everybody stay positive. stay engaged. I will give everyone an update tomorrow. Probably tomorrow, late morning, once I know that we've got all the amendments filed and just waiting for whichever of the bills they call tomorrow. But at that point, like I said, I'll have bill numbers from you. I'll have names of people that have committed to doing certain things. Like I said, guys, I'm not here to make friends down there. I'm here to try to get our kids out of being political pawns and make things better for them and bring the temperature down a little bit. So again, no matter what they try to do, we're not screaming against teachers, not screaming against school boards. All those, like, all the actors and all this are, like, as far as in the education system and all, like, I'm not judging anyone. My mom's a teacher. Teachers are freaking awesome, and we couldn't make it without them. All right, like, school boards have played an essential role, and I hate the fact that SB1 just passed and they're taking away all the things that school boards and site-based councils could do. I think all it's going to do is encourage less parental involvement. And like, it's coming from the party that supposedly is all about more parental choice involvement. Like, they're talking out both sides of their mouth. So again, this HB 51 and our quest for getting it passed and trying to get SB 211 that would change the obscenity law exemptions. It's all like meant to be positive, and it's as parent driven as it can get. So so thanks a lot for paying attention and staying engaged through all this. I can't even like express the love I've felt and the feeling of importance that I've felt, and sense of like belonging and having some meaning, deeper meaning in my life the last couple months. None of it would have been possible without all of you guys. I mean, every email mattered, every call mattered, all that. But we gotta stay the course, and we gotta be ready on the drop of a dime. There may be one specific person we gotta lean on or whatever, and I may not like need you more than we're going to need you the next 36 hours. So we need all the soldiers. All y'all, everybody plays a critical role, and after tomorrow, we hope we got a couple wins for all the parents and all the people that have stuck with it and trusted us through all this, so that better, more educated, more prepared, more qualified people can be the ones doing this video instead of my country. But so thanks for watching. If anybody has any questions or anything, shoot me a message, text, call me, whatever, and then do whatever you got to do to make the video get out there, liking it, sharing it, and whatever the heck all it is. Love you guys. Said last day of meetings and conversations and all that, but it probably isn't the last time you heard from me. So, but hopefully next time you hear from me, it'll be good news. So thanks a lot. Y'all have a good evening. Talk soon.